Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who that? Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, and yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And before I get started, I want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas and happy holiday season. This will be the last weekend before Christmas, man. So I know there's a lot of people excited about that. A lot of people head is rushing because you're trying to get those last minute gifts. So you probably spend a lot of time trying to pick out a gift for your special someone, a family or friends. But thank you so much for stopping by the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints, and we will be talking about the Saints Week 16 matchup versus the New York Jets. Before we get started, do want to mention that the New Orleans Saints are a 6.5 point favorite over the Jets on today inside of the Cesar Superdome. The Saints will have back-to-back home games, and I know that a lot of Saints fans are excited to see the team after an emotional victory last week versus the Carolina Panthers. This was a game last week that we saw that put a lot of hope inside of a lot of Saints fans out there because of what they saw on the field from the offense and quarterback Tyler Shough. Now, Tyler Shough was on an injury report this week, dealing with a hip injury. He took a lot of shots in that game versus the Carolina Panthers, so hopefully he'll be okay going into this game versus the Jets. He was a full participant. I'm talking Shough the entire week, although he was on the injury list. There's a couple guys that will be out of this game. Of course, Alvin Kamara has been dealing with an MCL. He is going to miss this game. We know Devaughn Vele, unfortunately, goes to IR. Devaughn Vele, who came on as of late, he's going to be on IR. So it's going to be a tough game for the New Orleans Saints. It's going to be a tough game for the offense. I mentioned Devaughn Vele not being available, Devaughn Vele not being available. It seemed as if the New Orleans Saints offense was starting to trend in the right direction, and it had a lot to do with Devaughn Vele with some of those difficult catches he came down with. There were third and longs, second and longs. Tyler Shough and Devaughn Vele collectively together converted. And, he was becoming a reliable target to Tyler Shough. So this is unfortunate that Vele is going to be on IR, but he did leave us with some memories that have us excited about the future, right? I mean, I know I am. But Devaughn Vele, dealing with the hamstring injury, it was something that hurt him being available during preseason. Of course, if you remember, during training camp, Devaughn Vele pulled his hamstring and he wasn't able to play during preseason for the exception of the third game. And then as of the last couple of weeks when he played against Tampa and when he played against Carolina, it seemed like, things were trending in the right direction for him. But unfortunately, he pulls his hamstring, and now he's out for the rest of the season. So it's going to be a next man up mentality. William Sherman, I'm pretty sure, probably get some action today, with Cesar Ruiz dealing with an injury as well. So, I mean, the offensive line is going to have to protect Tyler Shough. They're going to have to find a way to make sure that Tyler Shough stays up. And this is going to be another feather in the hat of Tyler Shough if he can go out here and make something happen with the offense. We know that, once again, Devaughn Vele, he relied on a lot especially for those third and long situations. So who is going to step up today? We know that Chris Olave is going to get the majority of the targets at the wide receiver position. We know about that drive that got the Saints, ahead, during the game versus the Carolina Panthers, or tying it up rather. The big time pass from Tyler Shuck to Chris Olave. And we know on that drive, he connected with Chris Olave on 4 different occasions. So we know that Olave is going to get targeted. And unfortunately, so does the New York Jets. So somebody else is going to have to step up in his wide receiver room. Mason Tipton is questionable in this game, but you have guys like Dante Pettis, Kevin Austin came in the game late when Devaughn Vele went down. He stepped up. You're going to have Juwan Johnson go out here, and he's probably going to get more targets. The Saints are going to have to find a way to move the football. And also the running game. Since you don't have Devaughn Vele, you don't have Alvin Kamara, is going to be Evan Hall and Estime. And also they had Nyheim Hines, who they signed earlier in the week. I don't know if he's going to be available. And if he is, it's probably going to be, just kind of sporadically, maybe a carry or two. But it seems like Evan Hall and Estime are going to be your 2 guys. And, I like what I saw from Estime versus Carolina, especially in the screen game. This is a guy that there's nothing fancy about him. He's a meat and potatoes type running back. And what I mean by that is he's going to run, right? He is going to run the football straight ahead, right? He's going to lower the shoulder. He's going to, drive straight ahead, but he finds success doing that. And Evan Hall probably going to be like your short yardage guy, or even the guy that you're going to be leaning on to take and fill the role of Devaughn Vele. So this is going to be a formidable 1-2 punch if we, see what we have saw these last couple of weeks. These guys stepping up. It should be a formidable bunch. Like I mentioned, the offensive line is going to have to protect Tyler Shuck. Last week they allowed him to be sacked 5 times. Now I'm kind of loose with that term, like let them, because there were a lot of plays where I feel like maybe Tyler Shuck held on to the ball too long and, trying to allow wide receivers to break off their routes to maybe get some yards. So, some of those sacks, you have to lay at the feet of the quarterback and not so much the offensive line. But the offensive line is going to have to protect Tyler Shuck on today. Defensively, on the defensive side of the football, the New Orleans Saints will be going up against quarterback Brady Cook. Brady Cook started last week. Wasn't the best performance that you're ever going to see. Right now, he has only 1 touchdown and 5 interceptions. But Aaron Glenn, the head coach of the Jets, said that he will start. Don't know how long that leash is going to be. But if the New Orleans Saints can go out here and, make things difficult, maybe generate some turnovers off of Brady Cook, then they can put away this game pretty fast. But look, this isn't one of those games where I feel like the Saints need to look past. Like, I know some Saints fans are going into this game like, oh, man, the Saints are playing the Jets. But I'm pretty sure on the other side, Jets fans are saying, oh, man, the Jets are playing the Saints. So it's not like these 2 teams are just so far away from one another. The Saints have 4 victories, the Jets only 3. So if the New Orleans Saints go around here and play around with their food, it's not out of the realm of possibility that the New York Jets can pull off this upset with Brady Cook. The New Orleans Saints defense need to make sure that they don't give any hope to the Jets. I think that the Jets are going to be able to run the football. I think that Breece Hall is a really good running back. I think that he's a solid running back. He was dealing with injuries this past week on the injury report, but I expect for him to be out there. He has something to prove, man. I don't know if you've been following the Jets. Pretty sure you haven't. But Breece Hall wants a new contract. And, it doesn't seem like the Jets are going to give it to him. So he has to go out here over the next couple of weeks and put together some really good performances. He has 900 yards on the season. I'm pretty sure he wants to go into this game maybe eclipsing 100 yards where he can go over 1,000 yards to make himself look a little bit more credible and respectable going into free agency. So if he can't sign with the Jets, somebody else will pick him up. I wouldn't mind seeing Breece Hall on the Saints. He's pretty doggone good. But regardless, the Saints are going to have to make sure that they get pressure on Brady Cook. The Saints are going to have to make sure that they are tackling, right? I got to make sure that you bring Breece Hall down on the ground and try to get away with a victory, man. Like, it's been a minute since the New Orleans Saints have kind of put it all together where you knew that the game was over, right, before it even started. I think that this could be a game where they could make that statement where they're trending in the right direction. But it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of teamwork from both sides of the football and also on special teams. I've been liking what I have seen from the special teams over the last month and a half. Seemed like they've been flipping the field. I think that Mason Tipton has really done a formidable job, a really good job picking up the slack since Rashid Shaheed was, traded to the Seattle Seahawks. Mason Tipton has been a part of special teams, and if you haven't noticed, teams haven't been kicking a Mason Tipton, which is the ultimate respect for a guy who is returning kicks on special teams. But I do have the New Orleans Saints winning this football game on today, getting their 5th victory on the season. I just feel kind of funny that everybody is picking the Saints this week. I know that it's been exciting to watch the Saints. Everybody's excited about Tyler Shuck and how this offense is looking with a lot of young guys that are going to be a part of this team next year and the foreseeable future. But man, it's just kind of hard for me to just sit up here and just say everybody picking the Saints. That doesn't worry me. But hopefully the New Orleans Saints can put it all together in the Cesar Superdome on Sunday at 11 in Week 16. And they can put it all together to a point where they just run away with this game. I got the Saints winning this game versus the New York Jets. I think that they're going to do some really good things. I think because they're limited, it's not going to be a high-scoring game or anything like that, but I think the Saints will probably score about 23 and the Jets 10. But I would love to hear from you. What do you think about the New Orleans Saints taking on the New York Jets? What do you think the keys to victory are for the black and gold? Comment down below, like and share this video. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast with yours truly, TJ Jones. We'll be back after the game for the post-game show. Of course, we start off on Bleacher Report, and then after Bleacher Report, come on over to the State of the Saints podcast channel where we can break it down a little bit more. Till next time, all I got to say is
thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
all I got to say is, who dat?